I was quite impressed to attend the 25th anniversary this morning. I must commend Afrobarometer, A, for having survived that long. It's, 25 years might sound young, but there are not many 25-year-olds in terms of civil society organizations on the continent. But more importantly, I commend Afrobarometer for, helping Africa speak for herself. And I think that is what, the surveys have consistently done, given us a true picture of what African people think about themselves, their governments, the state of affairs on the continent. I was particularly impressed by the launch of the Africa Insights report this morning. And one thing that I take away from it is that we have young people who probably live in a different world from what most of us imagine it to be. And it's so important that we start listening to the shifting narrative, the discourse around preference and denouncement of military rule is something we ought to start exploring. So I really think and I really hope that beyond the release of this data, the report can kickstart national conversations. And perhaps a good place to start would be looking at these top 10 countries or the like, so that in these countries, these conversations need to start already to track down what these young people are saying before it is too late. We've already seen what has happened in the Sahel. We're seeing what is developing in Kenya. I think it is certainly a pointer for the rest of Africa to start a conversation led not by the rest of us, by the so-called Gen Z. Afrobarometer's most important contribution has been to give voice to the people of Africa in ways that were impossible before the launch of the survey. It was hard to tell how African states or government would tell, what people thought of them. Afrobarometer has provided us an important mirror of what Africans think of themselves, think of their states. And I think, that to me remains an indelible mark on Africa's history, that once upon a time, there came an institution that drove an important message derived out of people's voices. I think beyond that, the work of Afrobarometer is critical to some of our work. We will work essentially in promoting the rule of law on the continent. And usually, until the arrival of Afrobarometer, a lot of the decisions were based on sentiment and perception. But Afrobarometer then provides us key data that allows us to drive our advocacy. Before the arrival of Afrobarometer, a lot of this data, A, was never produced in Africa. Two, because of that, it lacked legitimacy when engaging with most African authorities.